Hello everyone. The question says, select the option that correctly identifies A and B. A given in the option is sporophyte, gametophyte, gametophyte, sporophyte, male shoot, female shoot, female shoot or male shoot. So let's first try to understand what this figure is. This figure is that of Funaria, which is a type of moss, and it comes under the category of bryophytes. Now, as we all know that bryophytes are the plants which have the main plant body being haploid in nature. What we mean by being haploid is that only a single set of chromosome will be found, and that will be denoted by small n. Now, when I say that the main plant body is haploid in nature, we also need to understand the term called gametophyte first. So what is this gametophyte? Gametophyte means something which will produce the gametes. Okay. And since this gametophyte is the main plant body, means that it will be leafy in nature and it will be photosynthetic as well. So the green leafy structure is the gametophyte, having leafy nature, having photosynthetic nature, and this leafy structure will also contain the male structure onto it, and it will also contain a female structure onto it. This female structure will look like a flask. Okay. Now, since these male and female structure will be producing the gametes, that is why this structure is known as the gametophyte. So what happens here is that gametophyte, which is haploid in nature, this is entirely haploid, it's the main plant body, it will undergo gametogenesis. Gametogenesis means the formation of gametes, and two sets of gametes will be produced. One would be the male gamete, which is known as the antherozoids, and another one would be the female gamete, which will be known as egg. Okay. Now, what would happen is these two are again haploid in nature. Now you can imagine that this gametophyte is already haploid, and we have to produce the gamete which is also haploid. So what kind of division will take place here? Here, normally what happens is that the gametes are produced as a result of meiosis, but since this main plant body is already haploid, here mitosis will take place. Okay, mitosis will take place, and as a result, two gametes will be formed, one male gamete and one female gamete. Now what will happen is that the fertilization will take place, means that these two N will combine together to form a structure known as zygote, which will be diploid in nature, 2N. Okay. Now this diploid structure, which is the zygote, will undergo mitosis and will start to divide and will form a structure known as a sporophyte. So what would be the ploidy of this sporophyte? It will be 2N. So here, if we look at the picture here, what happens is that when the fusion of gametes has taken place, let's say the gamete has fallen onto this female part and it has combined with the egg, and from here the new part starts to develop like this. Okay. Now this structure here, this part here from this round part till here is known as the sporophyte structure, and the green part is already, we have marked that it's a gametophyte structure. So if I ask you what is this what is the ploidy of this gametophyte, you will say that it is N in nature and this sporophyte is 2N in nature. Now what are these structure known as? So let us look at the diagram here. So you can relate now that this structure is known as capsule. This structure, filament-like structure, is known as seta, and the basal part, this part, is known as foot. Now these are the main axis, and this root-like structure is the rhizoids, which is root-like but not root. It's not the actual root. Now inside this capsule, what will happen is the number of spores will be produced. Okay, number of spores will be produced. Now those spores will have the ploidy as N. So if we write spores here, spores will have the ploidy N, which means that this capsule was 2N in nature, but it underwent meiosis to give the spore which is N in nature. Now what will happen to these spores, and what are these spores basically? The spores are nothing but, you can say it's like mini seeds. So these spores, since it acts as a seed, what will happen is when this capsule bursts, the spores are all scattered around in the atmosphere, and then this spore will settle down somewhere and a new plant will start to grow from there, which will again be N in nature, and that plant, the main plant body, will again be known as the gametophyte. So we have seen here that from the sporophyte, what would happen? From the sporophyte, the spores will be produced, right? The spores will again germinate. It will go germination, and finally after germination again this gametophytic structure will occur. So we see this part, the lower part, which is B is, so B is gametophyte and A is sporophyte. So the correct option will be A, sporophyte and gametophyte. Thank you.